CD3. Track 10.
Rise of the Internet. Meet the most connected man on the planet. For most people, keeping track of emails and staying on top of their calendar might be hard enough. But for American software developer Chris Dancy, life doesn't feel complete without being connected to several hundred devices and applications that collect data about his life at all times. "I've been called the most connected human on Earth," he says. "I've spent the last 4 years connecting all the devices that I wear to all the smart technology in my home and transmitting all that data through to a single online platform so I can search my entire life. I call it my Internet." On a normal day, Dancy travels light, only wearing 6 devices. Above his eyes sits a headset, which records everything he sees. Around his neck hangs a narrative camera, which requires no photography skills because it takes a picture automatically every 30 seconds. On his wrist is a smartwatch, which sends him alerts from his 2 smartphones, while around the upper arm is a fitness armband, tracking his movement and sleep patterns 24 hours a day. And then there's the stuff you can't see. A heart rate monitor strapped to his chest to measure his heartbeats, and beneath his waistband, a posture sensor, which vibrates when I get tired and I forget my posture and slouch, he beams. Back in Denver, Colorado, all the data from these devices feeds directly into his home environment, which automatically adjusts according to his mood and needs. "The house knows my moods," he says. "If I've been dashing around all day and get really stressed out so that I don't sleep well, when I wake up, the light is a certain color, the room a particular temperature, and certain music plays." Dancy claims this connected environment, which he calls data-assisted living, has revolutionized his life, helping him to lose 100 pounds in 18 months and letting him live in a state of Zen-like calm, safe in the knowledge that his every moment is being archived. He can cast an eye over this personal data any time he needs to remember something that happened in the past. "I was at a restaurant in Denver, and I was like, what did I eat here last time? So I browsed all the photos from that day and could see exactly what meal it was," he says. He goes on to give another example. "When I have a meeting with someone on my calendar, instead of scanning a LinkedIn profile, I can access information about how they made me feel the first time I met them." So, when you're as connected as Dancy, what's the next frontier? "All this stuff has to go away," he says. "It all needs to be in my clothing. Why can't your shoes have sensors in them? So if you're wandering around trying to find a location, you don't need a GPS. Your shoe just vibrates left or right. I think this kind of personalized data is really the future. But for now, we have to fix all this stuff onto our clothes, and people stare at you because it looks silly." But what about the issue of ownership of data and privacy? A lot of data is fed back on the web, and a lot of companies now hold huge amounts of data on their customers. Dancy frowns. He is concerned, but is optimistic about the beneficial power of mastering our data, as long as we stop giving it away. "It's urgent that people look at the data they are creating and giving away. So much of it can be used to make our lives better, rather than lining the pockets of mega corporations."